You have arrived in Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Arkansas Music Works Brass Band. Tonight we're going to introduce something that we've been working on for about 2.5, almost 3 months, called the Culinary Landscape. And that's the feature presentation this evening. And we wanted to make sure you, as our very special dignitaries of this city, got a chance to see it before anybody else got to see it. I got to tell you that I first met our first gentleman this evening, Jeremy Mason McGraw, somewhere around 2011, when he was upselling these little postcards up on White Street visit Eureka Springs, and they were so good. And we got involved with Jeremy to do some things for May Festival of the Arts, and he produced a spectacular poster. Well, 2012 you saw it, but then he went down to Basin Spring Park and he produced this. So this is what kind of drew everyone's mind. They said, man, this guy is really good. Edward C. Robinson III. Wow, why doesn't he go ahead and produce some commercials for us? So we commissioned him to do that. And I'll tell you a really cool story about these commercials. And let's go ahead and play this one right now. And Jeremy, I want you just to take us for a short period of time. What are we going to get ready to see?
Well, we wanted to create something that was a good cross-section of all the different options that were available to Eureka Springs. The thesis that we were operating from basically was that you can't really communicate, like if you just make a food video that just shows food, that could be anywhere. Like what makes Eureka, Eureka is Eureka. And so we wanted to show something that had the spirit and the culture of Eureka in it with the food. So like a dining experience in Eureka is not the same as a dining experience, somewhere else in Northwest Arkansas. So that's what we really tried to set out to do. So we wanted to capture a broad cross-section of all the different options without focusing too much on a specific restaurant or a specific place, but we wanted to show everything from food trucks to fine dining, and then we wanted to bring the spirit of Eureka into this thing. And it was supposed to be 1 minute, and then once we got going, it was like, maybe we'll make it 1.5 minutes, minute 45.
Yeah. And Mike kept saying, you guys you can make it as long as you want. Right. I was like,
so the 2.5 minute video that you're about to see, we feel like
probably two of the most amazing guys I've ever had a chance to work with. And You know, when Jeremy told me what the bill was going to be, he said, you know, you really probably ought to go ahead and add a 0 to the check.
And we have that check. No? Oh, I misread you?
And there is so many cutting edge things that you guys did.
Yeah, right before the pandemic hit, I started learning to fly FPV drones, which is first-person view drones. Everybody always asks me how hard it is. It's going from like the drones you buy at the Best Buy or whatever. It's like learning to ride a unicycle. It's a lot you know how to ride a unicycle. It's like a bike is the one you buy at the store, and the first-person view drones are like the unicycle.
It's kind of like you make your own unicycle, though. You don't just like, he actually makes his own drones, so.
Yeah.
He really kind of undersells what he does. Like he really like builds just about everything that he uses, and so we'd have these ideas. Like it'd really be great to get these slow motion shots of the food, like you saw that drink shot and the shot of the stick of the stuff going in the pan. So you know, we talk about it, and we're like, Edward's sort of like, oh, I'll find a camera and figure something like that out. And he comes back, and then I see this video on my phone where he's like got a grinder and he's cutting a pan in half, and he's like, well, I found this one phone that we can do this, and we can get a really small phone, and we can get these 1,000 frames a second shots, and he like builds this whole rig. You remember that martini shot with the like, that's from a cell phone, and he built this whole thing to make that shot happen. But anyway.
I love building stuff.
Right.
I like solving problems and building things.
Can I also, we also have one other person.
Oh my goodness, yes indeed.
Yeah, there's somebody else who was really instrumental to the video is Chantel Moore, who is in the audience tonight. We'd love her to come up here. So one of the things we want to do is grab somebody that was an up-and-coming food reviewer, food influencer that was from about 3-hour radius around Eureka Springs, because that's a typical like kind of a drive-in, stay the weekend kind of a distance. And so we looked at Kansas City, and we looked at Little Rock, and we looked at Fort Smith, and we looked a little bit in Dallas. And so we just kept looking, and then all of a sudden I find her account, and I'm like, wow, she's really awesome. Like, just the food reviews were fun. There was a sense of humor, and so.
Yeah, Jeremy sent me like 20 different influencers to look at, and I went through all of them. I was like, pretty much only this account.
Right. Yeah, it just really stuck. Like so.
When I first got the message, I looked at it and I was like, who is writing this stuff? Is this spam? And like, so I was like, what's this page? He all these cool videos. I was like, man, I don't know why he's trying to kidnap me. Like,
the thing that blew us away is we didn't really know anything about her. So we have a phone call, and she seems like, all right, she sounds cool. She sounds like she's going to show up and everything like that. And we get here, and we turn out, she showed up, which is great. That was first step. But she's a military veteran of how many years? You've been in the Army?
14 years.
14 years. You usually do your own videos that are food reviews, but it was the first time that you've been like directed. So
very first time.
Right. And matter of fact, the very first time that we put a camera on her, I'm like, all right, so here are the lines, and she's like, what lines? And I'm like, oh, I forgot to give you the lines.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give these 3 people an incredibly warm round of applause.